Hello, beer supers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppets. Today, doing something I've been wanting to do for like a year. Drink some fresh, classic English beer from independent English brewers with loads of heritage. You guys probably know I've been going down memory lane a lot. Been going back. I'm going back to explore a lot of the stuff that I was into in the past before modern hypey craft and whatever's going on now. I still love that stuff, but I've had an affinity to go back. And this is something I hear from so many people who's been in the beer journey and the game for a long time. They start to go backwards a little bit and explore things of old. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to do a best bitter. And this is so nostalgic to me because British beer, best bitters, ESBs mainly maybe, they were some of the main reasons for me becoming interested in beer. The whole mass of hoppets exists because of English beer. Because that was where I had my baby steps and my first experiences of being blown away. So we're going back today, and we're going back to a brewery. I haven't reviewed much stuff on the channel besides a couple beers back when I started in 2009, 2010. We're going back to revisit Harvey's Brewery in Lewes in England, in Sussex. And this is their Sussex Best Bitter. This is a brewery, you can't get their beers really in Denmark. The thing is with classic English beers from some really nice producers, they're really hard to come by in Denmark. I think one of the best that's easy to come by these days is Samuel Smith's, but pretty much everything else has been gone for a while. We still get some Shepherd Neames. You can still once in a while find Bateman's. But Bateman's, it was actually only the Christmas ale this year. You can sometimes find Fuller's is even pushing it now, but also a lot of these brewers that are not independent anymore, owned by bigger corporations and whatnot, they're also harder to find, which is weird. So as you've seen, I've done a couple of revisits to a few of these breweries. Samuel Smith's, I've revisited the Badger Brewery, I've revisited or Hall and Woodhouse. I revisited Fuller's as well as some Fuller's beers. But Harveys I never did many reviews of because it was mainly only on cask I drank this because we couldn't really get it in bottles. I never saw bottles beside the Christmas calendar of strong beers or strong beers Christmas beers. And it was only strong beers in bottles. I did the Christmas ale in the past. I've tried their Prince of Denmark, Elizabethan ale maybe. And they were really old vintage bottles. And some of them were actually off bottles, I remember. I think maybe I have a review of an off bottles of Harvey's Prince of Denmark, or maybe it's a good bottle. I can't remember, but Harvey's a really legendary brewery. They usually sell mainly locally in the Sussex area and whatnot. It's not a brand that's all over the UK, and I've just been lucky to drink their beers fresh on cask, sometimes fresher than others, locally at the Wharf, because we had a bar, still do have a cask bar that serves cask ales. And they served Harveys over the years. And once in a while, I've popped in and had Harveys. And they actually had this on cask maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And I was like blown away about how much I loved it. And it was freshly opened. I was just like, man, this is amazing bitter. So I'm looking forward to be revisiting this. We got a couple people to thank for this. We actually got to thank the Wharf for the glass. So I have an authentic Harvey's glass to drink out of. And getting these over, I got them with the help of the Harvey's Brewery and also Gary. So thanks a ton to both Harveys and Gary. So let's just get started because I could ramble on about my history with British beer and history with Harveys. Like I've drunk so much of this. The Porter, I've drank loads of Starve Eastburn. There's quite a Tom Payne. There's so many Harvey's beers I've drunk so much. I'm excited to finally drink it. I know this is not cask. It's probably not going to be as good as a dead fresh cask, but it's still going to be great, I'm sure. So Sussex Best is, let's read it aloud here, a superbly balanced bitter with prominent hop character using a blend of 4 local hop varieties, water filtered through the Sussex Downs over 30 years, and Harvey's unique 60-year-old yeast strain. Harvey's Best Bitter is the embodiment of Sussex. And quickly, go look up Harvey's on YouTube, and you'll see how they do everything, how it's supposed to be done classically and authentically. Like they're doing it their own way, as they've always done it. I love it. It's pretty crazy. They have their own yeast strain. They still do open fermentations. Like they've not modernized a lot. And that's something we should cherish. That's rare that happens. There's a few breweries around that are like that still in many different parts of the world where you can still get to try really authentically crafted awesome stuff. And Harvey's is one of them. So let's dive into the best bitter. I'm so excited about this. And in the glass, Oh, this is just like sitting at the wharf. So pours a nice crystal clear copper color. It looks pretty much like what you would expect from a best bitter. And I think it says a blend of 4 hops. They use Fuggles, Goldings, Bramlin Cross, and they used another one, Prairie Prom. I can't remember the last one, but they use whole cone hops and they source them or contract them and, you know, try to, what fucking IPA brewers do. Look to get the best crops of hops. Also, like, great German brewers do this with their pilsners. Think of, like, if you listen to Schönraumer talk. But let's dive into this. This is going to be a long, nostalgic video otherwise. It looks great. Off-whitish head. Let's check out the aroma on Harvey's Sussex Best. Oh, this is not the best glass for smelling. I'll say that because it's a big pint glass and it goes out like that. But I just wanted to use, at least in one video, the Harvey's glass. This is so nostalgic to smell. It's got lots of stewed fruitiness. It's got a touch of that crystal malt in there. Like that, like slightly caramelly bready note. Definitely bready, rustic breadiness, almost like, yeah, some of these like hazelnut loaves and stuff like that. But it's caramelly too, and jam, lots of jamminess. Lots of stewed, jammy fruitiness. Currants. A little bit of citrus marmalade as well, stone fruit marmalade. This just smells so freaking nostalgic, man. Like, I was so excited about beers like this years ago. And this just puts a smile on my face. It just takes me back to that early beer journey. It just smells wonderful. Slightly Øllebrød-ish note. It's like a Danish rye bread porridge. But I think I need to drink some of this because it's hard to smell with this amount of beer in the glass. It's a pint, 1 pint glass, which is half a liter. And this is exactly the amount in the bottle. And I poured everything in there because I wanted to make a nice foamy picture for the thumbnail. Let's try it. Cheers. Harvey's Brewery, Sussex Best. Cheers to Harvey's. Cheers to Gary. Cheers to the Wharf. Let's do this. Wow. It's been a long time since I had a beer like this. It's not that long, actually, because I had it at the Wharf. But this is just like, I can see why this is not what a modern beer geek will be super freaking stoked and excited about. But this is really nice. It's even got a touch, just a touch of butterscotch, diacetyl vibes in this one. But that's very common in these classic British ales. Really drinkable stuff. 4% ABV, not super strong. This is exactly like what I expected. And this is really taking me back. It's super balanced and super easygoing. There's nothing crazy popping out. This is just like 2AT best bitter. Really what you want from the style. It's got like the stewed fruitiness and all the fruit preserved flavor that you get out of English yeast. And they're using their own yeast as well, which is just, I'm guessing, amplifying it. And you get that characteristic notes that you sometimes can get of a touch of butterscotch from diacetyl. And then like jammy fruitiness with the crystal maltiness, like the caramel notes, toffee. It's almost like if you took bread and put sugar on it in some ways, or some kind of like, more of like it's like this sturdy thing, almost like it's describing the breadness. Is it kind of like pound cake or something? I don't know, or senke as we say in Danish. It's just really nice and really easygoing. It's gonna be so fun going through these, especially because there's also 2 ESBs, and I haven't drunk ESBs in so long. They used to be like my favorite style in the world when I was getting into beer. Over bitters, over IPAs, like it was ESBs that rocked my world. This is great. This is just really nice best bitter. And like, I'm sure that this is even better at the source. And well, I don't think they actually have a tap room. But in Lewes or near the brewery, really fresh open cask is better. I actually think also the cask I had at the Wharf was better because it felt a bit more alive and vibrant. Because when I had it, it was really fresh. We're not going to look it up. I think it's like 4 months ago, or maybe it's 6 months ago. It was one of the last times they had Harveys on. It's got a really nice balanced bitterness. It's not like super bitter, but it's bitter, and it finishes with a nice clean bitterness on the end. And then the flavor profile, again, it's like these jammy fruits. It's like fruit preserves. It's citrus a little bit. It's citrus marmalade, orange marmalade notes. It's stone fruit marmalade notes, but also it's got like a little bit of a floral edge. It's got a little bit of a nettle note, like a green hop flavor to it. Also a little bit of spice even, and caramel maltiness. Also more of a rustic, crusty note now, more so than I talked about cake flavors almost. Not so much now. Now it feels more like rustic, spicy bread. This is nice bitter. This is best bitter, truly authentically done. It's not over hoppy. It's not over malty. It's really well balanced. I think, for a lot of people, they'd probably want to touch more hops, and you could definitely get away with that and still be really good. But this is how you should do it at least. Like feels like kind of benchmarky. But that being said, I think I liked it more on the cask. The cask I had was probably a 95. It was just banging. I think they opened it earlier in the day, and it was just magic, really fresh. This, I don't know how they do their dates. It's also a little bit smeared on this one. But it doesn't drink like super old or anything. It just doesn't feel as vibrant as and alive, and maybe that's because it's the bottled version. I'm not sure. And it does not look like it's bottle conditioned because it's really clear and I don't see any sediment in the bottle. But man, I'm loving it still. Like maybe a 93 or a 94. It's just really nice best bitter. And it's growing on me the more I drink of it. Like in the beginning I was a bit like, and then I start sipping, and it's just like, I'm really getting into the zone. And it's like really going back. And it's like, yeah, the more this pint is going down, the more I'm enjoying it. I'm really looking forward to be trying the rest here because I'm sure they're going to be very much in the same vein, a lot of them. So it'll really be fun to experience these again. Awesome stuff. Amazing to get some Sussex Best in the glass. So yeah, around 93, 94, probably 95 fresh on cask. Awesome stuff. Get some Sussex Best if you can from Harveys, legendary British brewery. And stay tuned for more reviews of their beer. I can't wait to try them. So if you guys had this one, let me know what you thought of it. Thanks a ton to Harveys, The Wharf, and Gary for making this happen. And I'm going to say cheers to all you guys and check out all my social media channels and whatnot. Link for them is down below. And cheers, and see you guys in another beer review.